Have you ever felt a strange heaviness in the air when someone smiles at you, yet deep down you know that smile carries no warmth? That quiet unease, that subtle shift in energy is not your imagination, it is your intuition warning you. Envy and falsehood often hide behind friendly faces, and the danger lies not in their words, but in the invisible weight they place on your spirit. Many people ignore these signals, dismissing them as paranoia, but the truth is your inner voice is rarely wrong. It senses what the eyes cannot see and what the ears cannot hear. To live fully, to protect your peace, you must learn to recognize when envy is directed toward you and when deception hides behind a mask. Think about how many times you've shared your dreams with someone only to feel their energy dim the fire within you. It's not always in what they say, it's often in what they don't. The half-hearted congratulations, the forced laughter, the subtle shift in conversation to make your victory feel smaller than it is. These are not accidents, they are signals. And when you don't recognize them, you open the door for others to drain your confidence and weaken your resolve. But when you do recognize them, something powerful happens. You regain control. You take back the authority over your emotions and refuse to let their envy poison your vision. Why should this matter to you? Because your journey is sacred. Every dream, every step of progress, every breakthrough you fight for is too precious to be sabotaged by the shadows of others. You owe it to yourself to guard that light. Recognizing envy and falsehood in others is not about becoming suspicious of everyone. It's about protecting your soul from those who are already silently plotting against your rise. It's about standing strong in your truth, refusing to let fake smiles or hidden jealousy distract you from your higher purpose. Deep inside, you already know who lifts you higher and who secretly pulls you down. That uneasy feeling after certain conversations, the subtle exhaustion when you spend too much time with specific people, the lingering doubts that weren't there before, that is not weakness. That is your spirit's defense system telling you something is off. If you ignore it, you risk carrying the weight of their hidden envy into your future. If you listen, you free yourself to grow without resistance. The reason this matters more than ever is because envy and falsehood are silent destroyers. They rarely attack you openly. They smile, they nod, they pretend to support you, but beneath the surface, they are planting seeds of doubt, hoping you stumble, waiting for you to fall. If you cannot see it, you will keep handing them access to your heart, your energy, your progress. But if you can see it, you take away their power. You turn their envy into fuel. You rise higher, not in spite of them, but because you chose to guard your path with clarity and courage. Stay with me until the very end, because what you are about to uncover will change how you see the people around you forever. Once you learn to recognize envy and falsehood, you will no longer be blind to the hidden motives that surround your life. You will walk with sharper vision, stronger boundaries, and deeper peace. This is not just about identifying others, it's about empowering yourself to rise untouched, unbroken, and unstoppable. Envy rarely announces itself with loud words or open conflict. It hides in the silence, in the small pauses, in the way someone's eyes shift when your name is spoken with praise. It appears when your growth reminds others of the potential they abandoned in themselves. Their discomfort is not about you. It is about the reflection you cast into their unfulfilled lives. But that reflection often drives them to mask their true feelings with false encouragement or empty support. If you are not alert, you will mistake their disguise for loyalty and welcome them deeper into your life. This is where the danger begins. Every person you allow into your circle carries energy that either strengthens or weakens you. Some lift your spirit higher, making your vision clearer and your confidence stronger. Others, however, leave you with doubt that never belonged to you. Envious people cannot celebrate your wins without secretly resenting the light that exposes their darkness. They cannot watch your progress without silently wishing for your failure. And false people cannot stand in your presence without calculating how to use your trust for their own advantage. The longer you overlook these truths, the more you give away pieces of your strength to those who do not deserve it. This is why awareness is power. When you sharpen your ability to see through envy and falsehood, you are not becoming negative, you are becoming wise. Wisdom is not about judging others, it is about refusing to hand over the keys to your inner peace. When you know the signs, you no longer have to question why you feel uneasy after certain conversations. You recognize the subtle mockery hidden in their jokes, the way their compliments sting instead of uplift, the way they downplay your success as if it were nothing special. These are the shadows envy casts, and the moment you see them clearly, you stop blaming yourself for the discomfort they cause. And here lies the reward: freedom. Freedom from emotional manipulation, freedom from draining relationships, freedom from the silent sabotage of those who pretend to cheer while secretly hoping you stumble. You gain the strength to create boundaries without guilt, to protect your peace without explanation, to choose connection only with those whose presence nourishes your growth. You reclaim the right to live without carrying the hidden weight of others' envy on your shoulders. Imagine the clarity of walking through life with the ability to see beyond the surface, to know who truly values you and who only stays close because they want to measure themselves against you. That clarity saves you time, energy, and pain. It keeps you focused on your path, unshaken by whispers or false smiles. And more importantly, it strengthens your inner foundation. Because when you no longer depend on false approval, you no longer fear false rejection, you become untouchable. The journey of growth requires courage, and one of the greatest acts of courage is to face the reality of who is truly for you and who is not. Many avoid this truth because it hurts to admit that not everyone around them has pure intentions. But the pain of truth is always lighter than the weight of deception. Once you accept it, you are no longer controlled by hidden envy or quiet betrayal. You are free to rise, to expand, and to protect the flame of your purpose from those who would rather see it burn out than burn brighter. There's a truth many overlook: envy cannot survive without comparison. It feeds on the habit of measuring your progress against someone else's. When people envy you, it is because your presence reminds them of where they are not, of what they have not achieved, of what they secretly wish they had the courage to pursue. Instead of being inspired, they turn bitter. Instead of learning from you, they try to diminish you. That bitterness reveals itself not always in direct attacks, but in subtle patterns you must learn to recognize. It shows up in backhanded compliments, in the sudden shift of tone when you share good news, in the way they are silent about your victories but loud about your mistakes. The danger lies in ignoring these signs. Every time you excuse their behavior, every time you explain away their coldness, you teach yourself to accept energy that slowly erodes your confidence. False people thrive on your willingness to doubt yourself. They hide behind charm, behind laughter, behind kind words, while underneath they are measuring your light and hoping to dim it. But you are not powerless. The moment you recognize the difference between authentic support and disguised envy, you stop giving away your strength to those who never intended to honor it. Pay attention to how people respond when you succeed. True supporters celebrate with genuine joy no matter what stage of life they are in. They do not feel threatened by your progress because they see your win as proof that they too can rise. But the envious cannot help but reveal themselves. Their energy shifts, their words twist, their expressions falter. It may be small, but it is there. And if you remain blind to it, you invite them to continue wearing the mask of loyalty while secretly planting seeds of doubt in your mind. The key is to train yourself to trust what you feel. Your intuition is sharper than you give it credit for. When you sense that someone's encouragement feels hollow, listen to that feeling. When their presence leaves you drained instead of energized, acknowledge it. This awareness is not about judgment. It is about self-protection. You are not obligated to carry the weight of other people's envy. You are not here to heal the insecurities of those who secretly resent your growth. You are here to protect your peace and pursue the life that belongs to you. Freedom comes when you stop explaining away the signs. Freedom comes when you accept that not everyone will be happy for you, and that is not your burden to carry. You do not need universal approval to move forward. You need clarity, courage, and the strength to walk away from the energy that diminishes your flame. Every moment you spend ignoring envy is a moment you allow it to linger in your space. But every moment you recognize it and release it, you reclaim power over your own path. This is not about becoming hardened or distrustful. It is about learning to see clearly. When you see clearly, you no longer fall for empty words. You no longer give your trust carelessly. You no longer let falsehood sit comfortably in your life. Instead, you rise above, anchored in self-respect, surrounded only by those whose presence truly nourishes your spirit. And in that clarity, you find a strength that no amount of envy or deception can ever take away. One of the clearest signs of envy and falsehood is the way people handle your vulnerability. When you share your struggles, pay attention to how they respond. Some will listen with compassion, offering encouragement that helps you rise. Others, however, will use your openness as fuel for their own quiet satisfaction. They may pretend to sympathize, but deep inside they are relieved to see you falter. False people smile when you are strong in public, but secretly celebrate when you stumble in private. Envious hearts cannot resist finding comfort in your challenges, because your difficulties make them feel less inadequate about their own. This truth may sting, but it is liberating. Not everyone deserves access to your deepest battles. Not everyone should be trusted with the weight of your pain. Those who envy you will twist your vulnerability into a story that benefits their own narrative. They will share it as gossip, disguise it as concern, or simply use it to reassure themselves that your life is not as perfect as they imagine. Recognizing this pattern allows you to choose wisely who you confide in, guarding your spirit from those who pretend to care while secretly feeding their envy. Falsehood is most dangerous when it hides behind kindness. People who envy you rarely reveal themselves openly because confrontation would expose their true motives. Instead, they blend support with subtle poison. They act as though they want the best for you, but their actions reveal otherwise. They delay when you ask for help. They withhold information that could benefit you. They praise you in public, but criticize you in private. It is the inconsistency that gives them away, and your awareness of these inconsistencies is what frees you. There is a powerful shift that happens when you no longer ignore these red flags. You begin to trust your perception instead of questioning it. You stop giving endless chances to those who repeatedly show you their lack of loyalty. You stop investing your energy in convincing people to be what they have already proven they are not. That shift is not just emotional, it is transformational. It strengthens your boundaries, sharpens your vision, and reminds you that your peace is not negotiable. Your energy is sacred. The people you allow close to you directly influence the state of your heart and the clarity of your mind. If someone leaves you feeling smaller, heavier, or doubtful, that is not love. If their words do not match their actions, that is not loyalty. If their presence forces you to shrink your light to make them comfortable, that is not friendship. Recognizing this gives you the power to walk away without hesitation, knowing that protecting your spirit is more important than maintaining appearances. When you choose to release envious and false people from your space, you create room for authentic souls to enter. You attract those who celebrate your growth instead of resenting it, who lift you higher instead of pulling you down, who find joy in your joy instead of comfort in your pain. This is the true reward of awareness. Not only freedom from toxic energy, but alignment with people who reflect the love, strength, and authenticity you deserve. And once you taste that freedom, you will never again settle for relationships that dim your light. The way people speak to you can reveal more than their actions ever will. Pay attention to tone, choice of words, and subtle shifts in attitude. Those who harbor envy often cloak criticism in advice, offering guidance that undermines rather than uplifts. They point out flaws, exaggerate mistakes, or frame their opinions as concern, all while their true intent is to make you question your worth. False people are masters of manipulation disguised as mentorship, and the danger lies in your willingness to accept their words at face value. The moment you begin to discern intent behind words, you reclaim control over how others' energy impacts you. Envy thrives in secrecy. The envious rarely confront openly because exposure strips them of power. Instead, they create subtle friction, sow doubt, and inject unease into your confidence. Their behavior often leaves you second-guessing yourself, wondering if you misinterpreted intentions. That internal conflict is exactly what they feed on. But recognizing these patterns allows you to step outside the fog. You learn to separate objective truth from subjective manipulation, to trust your own judgment over the projections of others, and to hold firm to your own perception of reality. Falsehood is often relational. Observe how people behave when they are alone versus in public. Genuine supporters remain consistent. They celebrate your achievements without hesitation, offer encouragement without condition, and remain present when it matters most. Envious and deceitful individuals cannot maintain this consistency. They will smile in public and criticize in private, nod in agreement, and work against you behind your back, praise your efforts, and secretly wish for your failure. Understanding this duality is not paranoia, it is empowerment. It teaches you to protect your inner circle and invest only in those who truly align with your values. Your intuition is a weapon. Every uneasy feeling, every gut reaction to subtle shifts in energy is a signal your subconscious is sending. Do not ignore it. When someone's words or actions feel off, honor that instinct. It is not weakness to notice these patterns. It is strength. Strength is knowing that your time, energy, and emotional investment are limited resources. You have the right to allocate them wisely. Allowing envy or falsehood to persist unchecked is a voluntary surrender of your power. Recognizing it early allows you to draw boundaries and reclaim the energy that has been quietly drained from you. The clarity that comes from seeing through envy and falsehood changes the way you navigate every relationship. You stop bending to meet the expectations of those who never intended to lift you up. You stop explaining yourself to those who are only listening to measure you against their own insecurities. You stop giving attention to those whose joy depends on your restraint or self-doubt. And in this freedom, you discover peace. Peace is not passive. It is the active choice to surround yourself with integrity, to protect your light, and to rise unimpeded by the shadows of others. Recognizing these dynamics is more than awareness. It is liberation. You reclaim the right to live boldly, to pursue your vision, and to grow without interference. You no longer need validation from those whose support is conditional. You no longer need to soften your brilliance to make others comfortable. Every person you allow to stay in your life after proving themselves trustworthy becomes a source of strength, not stress. And every boundary you enforce against envy and falsehood becomes a declaration. Your spirit will not be compromised, your purpose will not be stolen, and your rise will be unstoppable. Envy and falsehood are most dangerous when they are subtle, when they creep into your life unnoticed and begin to shape your reality without permission. The quiet criticism, the hidden comparisons, the faint tension you feel after certain conversations, all of these are indicators that someone's intentions are not aligned with your well-being. When you begin to see these patterns clearly, you gain a tremendous advantage. You no longer hand over your energy blindly. You no longer excuse behaviors that quietly chip away at your confidence. Instead, you assert control over the environment around you, protecting your mind and your heart from those who wish to diminish your potential. Pay attention to the reactions people have when you succeed. Those who genuinely care will celebrate without reservation. They will offer encouragement that uplifts and motivates. They will feel inspired by your progress, knowing that your growth does not diminish their worth. Envious individuals, on the other hand, will respond in ways that subtly undermine you. Their congratulations may feel forced, their compliments may carry hidden criticism, and their attention may focus on flaws rather than achievements. Recognizing these differences is not cynicism, it is awareness. It allows you to filter out energy that does not serve you and focus only on relationships that strengthen your resolve. Falsehood often hides behind the mask of friendliness, the envious smile at your victories, nod at your ideas, and speak kindly while secretly hoping your momentum falters. They may act supportive, but their words and actions do not align. Their energy carries tension, insecurity, and competition masked as camaraderie. The subtlety is what makes it dangerous. Left unchecked, this energy seeps into your psyche, creating doubt, anxiety, and hesitation. But when you identify these signs, you remove their influence. You reclaim the authority over your thoughts, emotions, and decisions. You learn to stand tall without being shaken by the hidden agendas of others. Your intuition is your ally in this battle. Every uneasy feeling, every hesitation you sense around certain people, every subtle discomfort is a signal. These signals are not random. They are your subconscious alerting you to danger. Honoring them is not overreacting. It is exercising self-preservation. The more you listen to these instincts, the stronger they become, guiding you toward people who are aligned with your vision and away from those who seek to undermine it. Your intuition is the compass that keeps your energy intact, your spirit intact, and your purpose unshaken. Boundaries are your defense, and enforcing them is a declaration of self-respect. You have the right to limit your exposure to people whose presence drains you, whose words sow doubt, and whose intentions are misaligned with your growth. Saying no, stepping back, or even distancing yourself from these individuals is not harsh, it is necessary. Each boundary you establish reinforces the truth that your energy is sacred, your goals are non-negotiable, and your peace is priceless. When you cultivate this awareness, you create a life free from the silent weight of envy and deception. You surround yourself with people whose intentions are clear, whose support is genuine, and whose presence fuels your growth. You no longer expend energy on convincing others to value you. You no longer internalize their hidden jealousy. You rise above, untethered, confident, and unstoppable, carrying only the relationships that amplify your strength and reflect the best version of yourself back to you. The energy people bring into your life speaks louder than words ever could. Notice how certain individuals leave you feeling lighter, empowered, and more capable, while others drain you, leaving a residue of doubt and unease. Envy and falsehood are invisible weights that attach themselves quietly, often under the guise of friendship, mentorship, or casual support. They do not announce themselves with banners or confrontations. They seep in through subtle criticism, comparisons, and hidden agendas. Recognizing these energies is not only vital for your growth, it is essential for protecting the very essence of who you are and what you are capable of achieving. When someone's reactions consistently feel off, pay attention. Envy cannot celebrate without hesitation. False people cannot provide genuine encouragement without strings attached. They may praise, but their eyes, tone, and energy often tell a different story. This discrepancy is your signal. It is your mind and spirit telling you that all is not as it seems. Listening to these signals is not weakness, it is strength. It is the courage to face reality without illusions and to protect your emotional space from those who wish to manipulate or diminish you. The subtleties are what matter most. The slight hesitation before a compliment, the veiled comparison in a casual conversation, the sudden change in attention when you succeed. These are all indicators of envy and falsehood. The people who truly support you will not waver. They will celebrate your victories openly, without reservation, and offer encouragement that lifts rather than undermines. They will be consistent, reliable, and trustworthy. When you understand this difference, you no longer waste energy trying to decipher hidden motives in those whose intentions are already clear. Your perception is your strongest ally. Each uneasy feeling is an instinct honed by experience and subconscious recognition. Trust it. Do not dismiss it as paranoia or oversensitivity. Your intuition is signaling what your mind has already observed. Envy and deception rely on subtlety. They work in silence, hoping that you will ignore the signs. By acknowledging your instincts, you reclaim the power that envious and false individuals attempt to steal. You create boundaries without hesitation and protect your inner world with clarity and confidence. The act of setting boundaries is transformative. It teaches you that your energy is finite and sacred, that your growth cannot be compromised by those who are not aligned with your vision. When you assert your right to limit exposure to toxic or envious influences, you demonstrate respect for yourself. Each boundary you establish is a statement. Your peace is non-negotiable, your focus is untouchable, and your rise cannot be hindered by hidden agendas. These boundaries are not walls of isolation, they are shields of strength that preserve your light and amplify your potential. The reward of this awareness is freedom. Freedom from emotional manipulation, from doubt planted by others, and from the subtle erosion of your confidence. You will no longer carry the weight of hidden resentment or disguised criticism. You will surround yourself with people who uplift, empower, and celebrate your growth authentically. You will rise without the drag of envy or falsehood, with clarity guiding your every step, courage fortifying your every action, and a sense of unstoppable purpose driving you forward, untouched by the shadows that once lingered unnoticed. The most revealing moments come not from what people say, but from how they make you feel. True allies energize you. They inspire confidence, clarity, and a sense of possibility. Envious and false individuals do the opposite. They leave a lingering weight, a subtle doubt, a sense that your light is somehow too much or that your progress is threatening. These feelings are not coincidences, they are signals. When you notice the recurring pattern of discomfort, hesitation, or invisible resistance from others, it is your cue to evaluate their intentions. Recognizing this is not cynicism, it is the courage to honor your own energy and protect your forward momentum. Pay attention to consistency. People who harbor envy or deceit are rarely consistent in their support. Their words, actions, and tone often fluctuate depending on their self-interest or mood. They may celebrate in public and undermine in private, offer advice that confuses instead of clarifies, or shift the conversation subtly to make your accomplishments seem smaller. These inconsistencies are not random. They are intentional. They are the fingerprints of envy and falsehood. Becoming attuned to these patterns allows you to respond strategically rather than emotionally, preserving your peace and strengthening your resolve. Your perception is a shield. Every uneasy feeling, every subtle warning that something is off is your inner compass guiding you. Trust it. Do not rationalize it away or apologize for sensing misalignment. Your instincts are sharper than you realize, and they exist to protect your growth and safeguard your energy. The moment you begin to honor them, you stop giving away power to those who feed on doubt and uncertainty. You establish a clear boundary between those who uplift you and those whose presence subtly diminishes your spirit. Boundaries are not walls. They are declarations of self-respect. They signal that your energy, focus, and vision are not negotiable. When you consciously limit your exposure to envious and false individuals, you are not acting out of fear or judgment. You are acting out of clarity and courage. Each boundary strengthens your ability to move confidently toward your goals without distraction or interference. Every time you refuse to entertain manipulation, you reinforce your self-worth and affirm your commitment to your own growth. Freedom emerges when you no longer allow hidden envy or deception to influence your emotions or decisions. You begin to surround yourself exclusively with those who genuinely celebrate your victories and encourage your potential. Your energy is no longer diluted by hidden competition or disguised criticism. You rise without the burden of others' insecurities weighing you down, navigating life with clear perception, unwavering confidence, and unshakable determination. This clarity transforms every interaction. You become attuned to hidden motives, empowered to respond with discernment, and unafraid to distance yourself from those who threaten your peace. Each encounter becomes a test of alignment, and each choice strengthens your resilience. As you sharpen this awareness, you are no longer vulnerable to the subtle attacks of envy or falsehood. Instead, you stand tall, anchored in self-respect, fueled by authentic support, and propelled by the certainty that your purpose is worth guarding. Every step forward becomes deliberate, powerful, and unstoppable. The energy you allow into your life shapes the trajectory of your growth. Every word spoken over you, every interaction, and every reaction from others either nourishes your spirit or depletes it. Envy and falsehood are invisible forces that drain your clarity, slow your progress, and distort your perception. They often arrive disguised as encouragement, advice, or casual conversation, making them difficult to identify. The key to empowerment lies in developing the ability to sense the hidden motives beneath the surface. The more attuned you become, the less power these subtle toxins have over your emotions and decisions. Notice how certain people respond when you set boundaries. Envious individuals may resist, push back, or attempt to manipulate your actions to regain control. False people may feign compliance while secretly undermining you. Their reactions reveal their true intent far more than their words ever could. Observing these behaviors without attachment or judgment allows you to act decisively. You learn to protect your mental space without guilt, to prioritize your growth without apology, and to filter your relationships through a lens of alignment rather than obligation. Consistency is a powerful indicator. People who are genuine maintain alignment between their words and their actions. They celebrate your successes openly and support your journey without hidden agendas. Those who harbor envy or deceit cannot sustain such harmony. Their behavior shifts with opportunity or self-interest. A compliment may be followed by subtle criticism, or encouragement may be laced with quiet judgment. Recognizing these inconsistencies equips you to respond with clarity and maintain control over your energy. You no longer react impulsively, you respond strategically, safeguarding your peace and purpose. Your intuition is a guiding force. Every uncomfortable feeling, every fleeting doubt about someone's intentions is a signal from your subconscious, a warning that should never be ignored. Trusting this guidance is not paranoia, it is strength. It allows you to navigate relationships with precision, to disengage from manipulative energy before it diminishes your confidence, and to reserve your attention for those who genuinely align with your vision. Honoring your instincts creates an inner fortress that envy and falsehood cannot penetrate. Boundaries are your most effective tools for self-preservation. Setting limits is not a form of punishment. It is a conscious act of respect for your own time, energy, and purpose. When you refuse to entertain negative energy, you reinforce your autonomy and demonstrate that your growth cannot be compromised by the agendas of others. Every boundary strengthens your ability to move through life with intention, focus, and resilience. It signals that your peace and vision are non-negotiable. The freedom that comes from this awareness is transformative. You no longer carry the emotional burden of hidden jealousy or masked intentions. You surround yourself with people who elevate your energy, support your goals, and celebrate your victories without hesitation. Your focus sharpens, your confidence deepens, and your path becomes clear. Every interaction becomes intentional, every decision aligned with your growth, and every step forward empowered by the certainty that your spirit is guarded, your purpose is prioritized, and your rise is unstoppable. The people around you either amplify your energy or drain it. Those who harbor envy or act with falsehood cannot celebrate your growth without resistance. Their words may sound supportive, but their energy carries tension, hesitation, and subtle judgment. Every time you internalize their disguised criticism, you allow your confidence to waver. Every time you excuse their inconsistent behavior, you give them power over your peace. Recognizing these patterns is not about suspicion. It is about honoring your worth and protecting your journey. The moment you see the truth, you reclaim control over your emotional landscape. Notice how they respond when you share progress or joy. Authentic support does not measure itself against your achievements. True allies rejoice openly, feeling inspired by your success rather than threatened by it. Envious individuals, on the other hand, react with subtle undermining. Compliments may feel hollow, encouragement may feel conditional, and their attention may drift toward your mistakes rather than your victories. The disparity between what is said and what is felt is the signal you cannot afford to ignore. This recognition allows you to discern who deserves your trust and whose influence is quietly toxic. Your intuition is more powerful than you realize. Every sense of unease, every fleeting discomfort, every gut feeling about someone's intentions is a message from your subconscious. It is the internal alarm designed to protect you. When you honor these instincts, you shield yourself from manipulation and hidden envy. Trusting your perception is not paranoia, it is wisdom. It allows you to set boundaries decisively, choose relationships that genuinely nourish your growth, and create a circle of influence aligned with your vision and values. Boundaries are the cornerstone of self-respect. They are not walls of isolation, but shields that preserve your energy and your focus. Enforcing boundaries with clarity prevents subtle sabotage from penetrating your life. Saying no, stepping back, or limiting interaction with those who undermine or subtly compete with you is a declaration of self-worth. It communicates to the world and to yourself that your purpose and your peace are non-negotiable. Every boundary you establish strengthens your resilience, sharpens your judgment, and empowers your ability to move forward without distraction or doubt. The awareness of envy and falsehood brings freedom. When you can identify who truly supports you and who does not, you stop carrying the weight of hidden agendas and disguised criticism. You no longer allow subtle negativity to influence your decisions or your confidence. Surrounding yourself with people whose energy uplifts and inspires transforms the way you approach every opportunity. Your focus becomes sharper, your motivation more sustained, and your presence more powerful. Recognizing these dynamics reshapes your entire approach to relationships. You begin to interact deliberately with clear intent and discernment. You choose connection over convenience, loyalty over appearance, and authenticity over pretense. The energy you preserve fuels your growth, amplifies your confidence, and solidifies your purpose. Each step forward becomes deliberate, each decision aligned with your vision, and every interaction a reflection of the strength and clarity you now command. You rise not in spite of the envy around you, but because you refuse to let it touch your spirit. The subtle currents of envy and falsehood are felt long before they are seen. They manifest in hesitation, in misaligned words, in energy that leaves you uncertain about your own worth. These invisible pressures are designed to make you question yourself, to slow your progress, and to distract you from the clarity of your purpose. Every time you allow someone else's hidden insecurities to shape your perception, you surrender a portion of your power. Recognizing these forces is not an act of suspicion, it is a declaration of sovereignty over your own mind, heart, and destiny. Observe how people respond when you claim your space or assert your goals. Those who genuinely support you will feel no need to compete, no urge to diminish your achievements. They will stand beside you, encouraging your growth and celebrating your progress without reservation. Envious and false individuals react differently. They may feign excitement, offer conditional praise, or subtly redirect attention away from your accomplishments. Their intentions are often hidden beneath politeness or charm, but their energy betrays them. Learning to read these signals allows you to navigate relationships with precision, maintaining your peace and protecting your focus. Trust in your instincts is essential. Every moment of discomfort, every fleeting sense that something is not right is a signal from your subconscious. It is the internal compass that keeps you aligned with reality and shields you from those who would manipulate or drain your energy. Ignoring these signals invites unnecessary conflict and emotional depletion. Honoring them empowers you to act decisively, to set boundaries, and to choose connections that align with your purpose rather than compromise it. Consistency is the ultimate indicator of intent. True allies maintain harmony between their words, actions, and energy. They celebrate your wins openly and offer support without hidden motives. Envy and deceit, however, reveal themselves through inconsistency. Compliments may be hollow, encouragement conditional, and gestures of support fleeting. Recognizing these patterns allows you to filter out energy that undermines your confidence and focus. It allows you to stop reacting impulsively and begin responding with clarity, strategy, and integrity. Boundaries are the expression of self-respect. They are not walls that isolate you, but shields that preserve your energy and your vision. Limiting exposure to those who harbor envy or practice falsehood is a conscious act of protection. It demonstrates that your growth, focus, and peace are not negotiable. Each boundary strengthens your resolve, sharpens your perception, and affirms your right to live without interference from those who cannot celebrate your rise. The liberation that comes from this awareness is profound. You no longer carry the weight of hidden jealousy or disguised criticism. You surround yourself with people whose presence uplifts, whose energy motivates, and whose support is unwavering. Your focus sharpens, your confidence deepens, and your purpose becomes untouchable. Each step forward is deliberate, each decision aligned with your highest vision, and every interaction an affirmation of the clarity, strength, and freedom you now command. You rise beyond envy and falsehood, not because they do not exist, but because you refuse to allow them to define your path. The truth is that envy and falsehood are rarely obvious. They hide in plain sight, cloaked in politeness, smiles, and seemingly harmless remarks. They feed on your openness, your ambition, and your courage to rise above mediocrity. Every time you excuse subtle criticism, every time you rationalize inconsistent behavior, you allow their energy to infiltrate your mind and diminish your confidence. Becoming aware of these hidden currents is not about mistrust. It is about empowerment. It is about learning to protect your spirit while continuing to pursue your vision without compromise. Pay attention to how people respond when you succeed or claim your space. Those who are authentic feel joy without hesitation. They celebrate your victories, encourage your growth, and draw inspiration from your achievements. Envious and false individuals cannot do this. They may offer delayed congratulations, faint praise, or indirect comparisons designed to make your success feel smaller. Their intentions are disguised, but their energy betrays them. Recognizing this allows you to filter out harmful influence and focus solely on relationships that elevate your spirit, sharpen your clarity, and support your purpose. Your instincts are powerful indicators. Every uneasy feeling, every subtle doubt, every sense that someone's behavior does not align with their words is your subconscious signaling potential harm. Ignoring these signals is a choice to remain vulnerable to manipulation and hidden resentment. Honoring them is an act of strength. It allows you to set boundaries confidently, protect your energy, and reserve your time for those who genuinely align with your vision and values. Intuition is not an abstract concept. It is your mind's way of defending your progress and your peace. Consistency is the measure of authenticity. True allies maintain harmony between their actions, words, and energy. They support your victories openly, provide guidance without hidden motives, and remain reliable through challenges. Envy and deceit, however, are revealed in inconsistency. Compliments feel hollow, encouragement is conditional, and gestures of support fluctuate with opportunity or self-interest. Recognizing these patterns frees you from reacting emotionally to manipulation. You respond with clarity, strategy, and confidence, protecting your spirit from those who seek to diminish it. Boundaries are essential for preserving your energy and focus. They are not walls to isolate yourself, but shields to defend the integrity of your mind and purpose. Limiting exposure to envious or false individuals is an act of courage and self-respect. Every boundary you establish is a declaration. Your growth is sacred, your energy is invaluable, and your peace cannot be compromised. These boundaries strengthen your resilience, sharpen your judgment, and allow you to operate with deliberate intention in every interaction. The result of this awareness is liberation. You no longer carry the invisible weight of jealousy or hidden criticism. You attract people whose presence uplifts, whose energy supports your progress, and whose intentions are aligned with your purpose. Your clarity deepens, your confidence solidifies, and your path becomes untouchable. Every step forward becomes deliberate, every decision aligned with your highest goals, and every connection a reflection of authenticity and empowerment. You rise above envy and falsehood, not by avoiding them, but by refusing to allow them to influence the trajectory of your life. The presence of envy and falsehood in others is not always loud, but it is always perceptible if you learn to see clearly. It shows itself in the smallest inconsistencies, the faintest hesitations, and the subtle ways people respond to your progress. Those who genuinely support you radiate energy that lifts, inspires, and reinforces your purpose. They make space for your growth without feeling threatened, without needing to compete, and without hidden agendas. Envious and deceitful individuals do the opposite. They create tension disguised as concern, undermine with subtle remarks, and measure your light against their insecurities. Recognizing this allows you to protect your energy and rise unshaken. Notice the patterns in behavior, not isolated incidents. A single comment may be accidental, but recurring signals reveal intent. Compliments that sting, advice that confuses, and reactions that leave you uneasy are not coincidences. They are manifestations of envy and falsehood that feed on your openness and ambition. When you identify these patterns, you reclaim power. You stop internalizing energy that was never meant to serve you and start trusting your own perception of reality. This clarity is not fear, it is empowerment. Your intuition is your most reliable guide. Every feeling of discomfort, every sense of misalignment is your subconscious signaling potential harm. Trust it. Ignoring it allows subtle sabotage to take root in your life, eroding your confidence and focus without your awareness. Honoring your instincts creates a protective shield around your energy, ensuring that your time, attention, and emotional investment go only to those who genuinely support your journey. Intuition is not speculation. It is a survival mechanism for your growth, your peace, and your purpose. Consistency is the ultimate test of authenticity. Those who are genuine maintain alignment between their words, actions, and energy. They rejoice in your victories, offer encouragement without conditions, and remain present when it matters most. Envious and false people cannot sustain such alignment. Their compliments feel forced, their support conditional, and their loyalty inconsistent. Recognizing this distinction allows you to act decisively rather than react emotionally. You learn to respond strategically, protect your peace, and engage only with energy that strengthens rather than diminishes you. Boundaries are the active expression of self-respect. They are not barriers of isolation. They are shields that preserve the integrity of your mind, your focus, and your purpose. Choosing to limit interaction with those whose intentions are misaligned is a conscious act of empowerment. Every boundary you enforce demonstrates that your growth is sacred, your energy is valuable, and your peace is non-negotiable. These boundaries are a declaration that you will not allow subtle sabotage to impede your rise or dilute your potential. The freedom that comes from this awareness is transformative. You no longer carry the weight of hidden jealousy or masked criticism. You surround yourself with individuals whose presence energizes, uplifts, and aligns with your purpose. Your clarity deepens, your confidence strengthens, and your path forward becomes unstoppable. Each step becomes deliberate, each decision aligned with your highest vision, and every interaction an affirmation of the strength, discernment, and empowerment you now command. You rise above envy and falsehood not by avoiding them, but by refusing to allow them influence over your spirit, your growth, and your destiny. The energy people bring into your life is a reflection of their intentions, even when their words seem kind. Envy and falsehood rarely announce themselves. They move quietly, weaving doubt and tension into your interactions. Every hesitation, every faint criticism, every subtle comparison is a signal. Those who are genuinely supportive amplify your strength, celebrate your victories without reservation, and inspire your growth. Those who are envious or false, however, cannot rejoice in your light without feeling diminished. Their hidden agendas, masked as concern or encouragement, attempt to manipulate your perception and dilute your confidence. Recognizing this is the first step toward reclaiming your power. Patterns reveal truth. Isolated moments may be inconsequential, but recurring behaviors expose intent. Compliments that feel insincere, guidance that confuses rather than clarifies, and responses that leave you unsettled are not random. They are the fingerprints of envy and falsehood. By observing these patterns, you train yourself to see beyond surface appearances, to discern energy that serves you from energy that does not. This awareness is not fear, it is clarity. It allows you to protect your peace, focus on your goals, and conserve your energy for those who genuinely uplift you. Your intuition is your most reliable instrument. Every sense of discomfort, every subtle warning about someone's intentions is your mind and spirit signaling danger. Trust these instincts. Ignoring them allows subtle manipulation and disguised envy to take root, eroding your confidence without your conscious awareness. Honoring your intuition fortifies your defenses, guiding you toward relationships that are aligned with your purpose and away from those that drain your energy. Intuition is not doubt. It is the natural mechanism your mind uses to safeguard your growth and your peace. Consistency is the ultimate measure of authenticity. True allies maintain alignment between words, actions, and energy. They celebrate your successes fully, support your growth without hidden conditions, and remain present when it matters most. Envious and false individuals cannot sustain such consistency. Their praise feels hollow, their encouragement is conditional, and their loyalty fluctuates with self-interest. Recognizing these inconsistencies allows you to disengage from manipulation and act decisively. You respond with clarity and strength, preserving your energy and ensuring that your attention goes only to those who truly support your rise. Boundaries are the expression of self-respect and personal power. They are not barriers to isolate yourself. They are shields that protect the integrity of your mind, your focus, and your purpose. Limiting exposure to those whose intentions are misaligned is an act of courage. Every boundary you enforce is a statement. Your growth is sacred, your energy is invaluable, and your peace is non-negotiable.